I call Claudia Beamish to be followed by Aileen MacLeod.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. I would like to thank Colin Kerr for bringing this motion to the Chamber tonight. The Royal Highland Education Trust does indeed work to, as the motion states, to promote Scotland's rural and agricultural environment, farming and countryside activities and food education for Scotland's young people. In the words of farmer and friend Jim Warnock, who has been involved with the Trust for many years, RETS is, and I quote, the fastest growing branch of a tree of learning, with 1 in 8 primary school children in contact with farming, either through a classroom talk or a farm visit. In my view, RETS does a brilliant job, much of it through the dedication of volunteers who offer their services for free. From experienced farmers to agricultural students, and the support of the Scottish Government is essential for this to continue. The motion highlights the lack of link between urban children and our countryside. Perhaps surprisingly, many children who live in villages have no direct experience of farms either, how they work and how our food is produced, and an understanding of the sequence from farm to plate, or as Colin Kerr mentioned, gate to plate. As a primary teacher, I was involved in a number of RETS initiatives. A visit to Fewfields Small Holding in Clydesdale, which is part of the RETS scheme with a rural primary school, highlights these valuable connections. We picked plums, washed and measured them, boiled them with sugar and water, and while cooling, we were then sent off to hold baby ducklings and play distinguish the different breed of chicken and match the right colour egg. Then, having of course washed hands, we designed our own labels, put the jam in jars and took it home to share with our families. The children also made a recipe book with ingredients which were bought from either at a farm or had to be grown themselves. Food preparation and cooking rather than fast food. In these days of questioning consumerism, the opportunities to connect with where our food comes from can inspire buying more local, hopefully affordable food. Its accessibility to cities, however, is another question, perhaps for another time. I've also seen the enthusiasm with which pupils begin to grow their own vegetables and connect sometimes with the older generation in sharing this experience, whether tomatoes in a greenhouse or basil in a window box. As part of the same project through RETS, the children invited a young agriculture student to come to the classroom and talk to them and answer questions about training to be a farmer and what it was like to juggle the planning of rotation, getting up early to milk, and yes, being computer savvy to fill in the CAP forms. This brought the industry alive in a realistic way and inspired 1 or 2 young people of both genders about a farming future. There was also a visit to Sandylands Farm in Clydesdale, where pupils were welcomed by the Warnock family. Jim Warnock tells us we tick all the boxes on curriculum for excellence and outdoor learning and are aiming for 1 in 4 school children benefiting from our countryside activities by 2020. All visits are risk assessed, and it would seem unnecessary to me that this should have to be redone by busy teachers, as was involved in the case where I visited a farm, when it had already been done through RETS. Jim Warnock tells me, when on the farm, many farm visits that he has welcomed children to, children fire questions on numerous aspects of food production. Things like, if a white cow gives white milk, does a black cow give black milk? Why do sheep only have teeth on their bottom jaw? Where are the keys to your quad bike? Does the collie dog count sheep to help it sleep at night? As highlighted in the motion, the farm visits also give the children an opportunity to become aware of the chances to walk in the countryside and the codes for footpaths and for access. This enables children and their families to share the experience of being out and about in the countryside safely. RETS helps children and their families and the wider community to connect or reconnect with farms and with rural life, reminds us of the joy of the fresh air and of fresh food, and I heartily commend its work and ask the Scottish Government to continue to support it. Thank you.